Hi, this is IKQ, and this is just a video on this Logitech mouse. It's a 25 ringgit mouse, so that makes it about $7 US. Well, I'm gonna mode it because I didn't like the way it performed. Just give you a quick thing on what I'm gonna mode. I'm gonna change the mouse feet. I'm gonna stiffen up the scroll wheel. Which let me just zoom it in. Okay, zoomed in, so you can hear it. It sounds pretty crappy, clack, 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 like that. You know, it's not so smooth. And then if you hear the mouse when it moves, I mean, that horrible scraping noise is just fuck. And maybe if I can find the time, I'll get some fishing weights or maybe some nuts and hot glue it on to make the mouse a little bit heavier. So it doesn't, so it feels more like my G5. Basically, you can hear my G5 if you move it around. Barely any noise, and it's really smooth. And of course, a very nice click sound like that. So later on, you'll see me take apart the mouse and adjusting this, adjusting that, and it'll be a very short video. All right. Okay, so here's the scroll wheel, and you can see it's there's a tension spring here. Well, on the tip of it there'll be a bent head which rubs against the inside. I'm not sure you can see it here clearly enough, but there are like grooves in the inner part of the wheel which catch the head and you know, well, it creates the clicking motion. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull off this spring, increase the tension, and then I'm going to grease the inside of the wheel so it doesn't stick. Okay. So here's the spring. I've tightened tension. As you can see, the thing is just a little bit higher. So now all I have to do is grease it with some KY. I'm going to grease it with KY. Haha, yeah. And then I'll slip it back in and see how it sounds when I click it. Okay, so I'll put it back in, and if you can see, there is some Vasline inside there, and this is pretty now stiff for turning, which is the way I like it. I like a stiff turn, a stiff click as I turn it. And I'll just put it back onto the mouse. So hang on for a second. Most mice, now you notice nowadays the scroll wheel is not screwed on. It's just a low catch right here. If you put the head on top like so. Let me just move this, that, and then just snap it in like that, and it's in place. Okay. Nothing much you can see here. Next will be the wheel, mouse feet, which I'll sand off the little ridges here. Pop off the feet, sand off the ridges, and put in a pair of new mouse feet, which I bought for it. And I will see how it sounds like, click-wise and thing. Okay, so here it is. The my feet are removed and sanded off for as best as I can do, or at least as much as I want to do. Oops, there's some tension there. That's why you need weight, because you know, wire tension pushes the damn mouse left and right. Here are the original mouse feet. As you can see, they're quite thin and crappy, and of course hard. Just not what they're supposed to be. Mouse feet are supposed to be soft so they can glide across the thing, but they're pretty thin and hard. So I'll be replacing it with two pairs of these guys. Bought it from this company, Professional Musketeers, like what they call themselves. Well, I bought it for 15 bucks, so that's about $3 US. This includes postage. So just slip these guys on, and we'll see how it goes. So as you can see, instead of putting 4, I put 6 to even out the pressure, just in case. So over like $3 US or 50 Malaysian ringgit, you can change this little crap ass feet which you got here. I still got quite a lot left. These little cheap plastic shits here for these nice ones, which should last some time. We'll see how they do in a second when I flip it over and screw back on the top. One of the side effects for sanding the thing is the underside here is quite smooth, but that won't matter much because this mice feet is supposed to keep the surface, the bottom of the mice off the surface, the mouse off the surface. So we'll see in a second. Okay, so I've screwed in the mouse, so I'm going to give it a run now, just to hear how it sounds. And yes, that actually sounds much nicer. It feels a lot more nicer. With the other mice, you know, you could feel the texture of the mouse pad, which is a rough texture. You know, just grinding on the bottom of it. You know, it's like a grinding feeling. It's terrible. So it's pretty smooth now. See, it's quite nice. It's not as smooth as my G5, but then again, G5 have huge, as you can see, mouse pads. And by the way, this guy is about 5 years old, and the mouse pads she put on this are fantastic. It hasn't worn off yet much. So the other thing I've modified is the mouse wheel. So let's hear how it sounds. Just zoom in a bit. Sounds okay. As you can see, it sounds great. It feels great. It sounds better than before. Before it was just like it was very quite stiff and then click. You know, it's kind of like a stiff turn and click. Now it's just a snap. See, a nice quick snap, which is the way I like it. So later probably I'll reopen it. Alright, and there's some space on the top here. So I'll reopen it and I had to put a fishing line weight, so 2 nuts, and hot glue it on just to get a little bit more weight. Try to distribute the weight because, as you can see, the front is heavy, the rear is light. So maybe I'll put the weights around the back of it to you know, to equalize the weight of the mouse. And that's it. Other than that, what else you could do is you could just paint it if you really want to. But it's a $25 mouse, for God's sakes. You know, why waste the time? I know some people like to, but not for me. Okay, so this is IKQ for a quick mouse mode. Signing off.